Margaret Ann Windsor here, kidnapped in 41 from Buckingham Palace, brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. Carl was the other twin, Carl Preston Dempsey and Peggy Ann Dempsey. Peggy is the name they gave me. Both of the twins had been killed by their mother. They were born out of wedlock, and it was a pigsty where they put me. By the way, there's a death certificate for Carl. Peggy was fed to the pigs, and I kid you not. No one's ever paid for it. You know why? Because of who I am. I found out in '83 that my real name is Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II. My father's Edward VIII, and I just put this on the prior tape. That's an imposter that they said married my father. My father's married to, Wallace Simpson was married to an imposter and stole my father's identity and took him down illegally with the Illuminati. This is Georgia O'Keeffe, my aunt, the artist. My father was married to her sister Claudia. My own uncle, George VI, Elizabeth's father, who's illegal, helped Kennedy. Joe Kennedy was ambassador, appointed by Roosevelt. This woman, that's called the Queen Mom, she's not. She's Elizabeth's mom, and they're illegal. Elizabeth Bowles was kin to the Rothschilds, and that's who kidnapped me. The Kennedy, Rothschilds, Rockefeller, Bilderberger, my own uncle. Illegal George VI, who was a traitor to England and sold it out. And I'm a hostage here, by the way. I wrote about mind control, and I'm trying to do this quick because I want to get this part. I wrote about mind control in 76 to 80, April Fool Day of 80, and I had antifreeze put in me. It should have died. I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79, ongoing investigation, national security involved. This is one of the ongoing, they were done in patterns and can be proven because mind control is invisible. Larry Flynt was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, while I was doing this book on mind control and cases of malpractice. Larry McDonald, the U.S. Congressman, doctor from Atlanta, that his plane went down in '83, and that's when I was flown to FLYNT'S. Flynt, the person that shot him in Lawrenceville, March the 6th of '78, was programmed to shoot him and kill his attorney. This was an endorsement. I went out there and ran for the seat left vacant by Larry McDonald when the plane went down en route from Seoul, South Korea from Juneau, Alaska, August the 31st of '83. It was a special election, and I'm leaving out all the hell that's in between here. I'd written about this doctor, had antifreeze put in me, and I'm leaving the rest out. I can't get it on. I put it in former tapes. This is an endorsement, April of '84, by Flynt, and he says I know who was responsible for his shooting. Now, I want to move on because there's a list of these mind control shootings. This is that I'm living in Roanoke, Travel, if you call it living, and this is a psychiatrist that finished at Virginia Tech next door in Blacksburg, and this is him, the Fort Hood shooter. Okay, they're programmed just like the April the 16th of '07, so I'm going to just show you one more thing, how they use the names. Larry Flynt's wife's name was Althea, and she was murdered. She didn't just die in that bathtub she was buried, I believe, on the 28th of May of '87. I believe that's when. Yeah. Now then, Althea is the woman who, I was in the car driving a Hustler car. I was just left. I didn't see Larry Flynt again. I had the car for a year and turned it back in, and I was driving through Charlottesville, and I didn't know I was going to be without a car or anything again and living in Roanoke, but I was. But when I was driving through there on May the 4th of '84 was when Anastasia, she's related to me, just like she is Elizabeth. She's a cousin, Tsar Nicholas's family, and that were burned. And Anna was really Anastasia, which they covered it up. I had court documents, and nobody in the media would touch it, anything. And there were members of her family there in Charlottesville when this court document was done. So Althea was a woman, a real estate dealer, and you'd have to read this, that got hold of what little was left of Anastasia, and her husband, Anna's husband, was Manahan. He was professor at the University of Virginia, and what was done to him, he tried to save Anna. The Preston, here's the name Preston used, an attorney that was assigned to have Anastasia locked up, and she was murdered by the Blue Ridge Mental Health. It was illegal. Her husband was a professor who drove a car into a fence trying to get her released. They killed her with Halidol, and I don't know what else. Anyway, I wanted to get, this is my sons, Mark and Scott. And one of the murders that was mass, and I probably won't get it on here, was the, the astronauts, Kelly, Mark and Scott Kelly, and Mark Kelly's married to Gabby Gifford, and I had that thing here, and I don't, yeah, right here, and you can't get it on, this is it. They were twins. So you get where the Mark and Scott and kinda, you have to have a database. Now I want to get to this if I can. Larry Flynt. When I was flown out there twice in his home in October of '83. This is, City Hall is smitten with a smut peddler. This is what they call it. South Bay suburb of Gardena. Hustler magazine Larry Flynt was finally found a place where civic leaders embrace him, law enforcement professionals salute him, and even the tax collectors cut him some slack. Flynt's trade in Gardena is poker, not porn, and he mostly resists any temptation to airbrush the line in between. Now then, I wanted to, if I can find this before the tape goes off, I was organized, I thought. I guess I'm not, because I don't see where I had it. Anyway, I'll see if I can read it from here. Don't know where it went. Well, that'll take up the rest of the time. Here it is. I don't want neither. I thought I had it. Well, here goes the time. I want to say this. They were talking about him being accepted. These people are very much a part of what's the torture that's been done to me here, and I'm not going to try to get into telling. I put it on other tapes. Here they're honored and become wealthy, and part of it is, you better believe it, part of what they've done to me. This is Sunny Shaw and Patels from they're from India. Troutville, Roanoke, you'd be shocked. And here's people that I know that know about my kidnapping. John Edwards, state senator. I thought he was a good guy. Tim Kaine was ex-governor. He's a senator. Mark Warner's office, and Bob Goodlatte. And he's congressman, U.S. congressman. He was over the agriculture, which is law enforcement of the forestry where I had to live. He's now over the Intelligence Committee, and I believe one other one that's national security. These people wouldn't give me the time of day, and look what they're doing with the people that got wealthy off of my help. Now then, and they call Mr. Flynt names. Now, I don't know what's happened to my little article I was going to read. I've lost it. But it was talking about when Larry Flynt wore the flag and desecrating the American flag and how bad that was. Here I am, Victoria II. They brought me here when I was 2 years old. I was the wealthiest woman in the world when I was born. A pauper doesn't cut it. You talk about desecration of a monarch, and that was fun to the Americans. Believe me, 75 years later, hasn't made any difference whatsoever. So desecrate a flag, the United States that kidnapped me, stole it from me to begin with, and here I am, a human being first